This past legislative session that would have put a moratorium on the construction of new data centers in Oklahoma until November of 2029. That legislation did not advance, so she told me she felt like an interim study was the best way to take a closer look at this issue, and then maybe from there get an idea for some better legislation to run this upcoming legislative session. Now, interim studies provide lawmakers the opportunity to study issues outside of the legislative session, and State Senator Kendall Sacchieri has proposed an interim study titled Data Centers and What All They Mean for Our State. Sacchieri says she would like to bring in industrial hygienists for the study.
I would like to bring those kinds of professionals in, and then if it would be best to have them and then the other side there with them to hash it out, I'm fine with that. I just want to make sure that we're bringing in not just the industry anymore. We want to bring in those that are professionally been through chemistry and understand what is going into our water system and how these closed loop systems work, et cetera.
The Senate Pro Tem has approved this interim study. It now heads to the Agriculture and Wildlife Committee chair, who has to consider it and schedule it. And interim studies must be completed by October 30th. Reporting live at the state capitol, Paige Taylor, Fox 25 News.
Thank you, Paige. Fox 25 Chief Meteorologist Jack Gervin's got your back with a first look at the forecast on this Tuesday evening. Hi, Jack.
Hey, Wendy. We've had some spotty showers and storms moving on through parts of the area. They've been really isolated, and that trend will continue for the next couple hours. As you can see right now from our downtown cameras, we never got any rain immediately downtown, but we had some showers on the east side of the state and on the city, as well as on the west side of the city as well. But right now, kind of in between little rounds, and you can see that we're mostly looking at partly cloudy skies out there. As you can see that most of our spotty showers and storms are kind of moving from east to west this afternoon, now going into the evening. And even over the past couple hours, whatever was out there is starting to already kind of fade away because we're now kind of leaving the peak heating, and we're probably going to be looking at them just to hold together for a little bit longer before they again continue to fizzle out. So that cell that's by Watonga is going down. We have some showers around the Guthrie area and across portions of Logan County, also by Cushing, south of Stillwater, and also coming out into the far southeastern side there of Norman. But overall, though, these remain very isolated in nature, and I've got the lightning turned on, and very few actual lightning strikes are out there. The one thing you have to watch out for might be some little gusty winds and also some brief but really heavy rainfall, because again, it's humid out there, so there's a lot of moisture to work with. Temperatures right now are primarily in the upper 80s and low 90s. A couple of middle 90s are being noted across southwest Oklahoma, but most of us still, again, are down a few degrees compared to average, which is good for this time of the year. And our dew points, again, are juicy with a lot of these upper 60s, so there's a bit of a heat index. It's not crazy out there, but it does aid in producing some pretty heavy downpours out of these little rain showers that we have. So as we animate through a futurecast, just like it was yesterday, we'll have them for the next few hours, and by the time we get towards sunset and after that, we'll then be looking at a drier forecast overall, where there will then be some pretty clear skies for our forecast for the overnight hours. Then we'll basically just do it again for tomorrow. So this will be the next couple of hours, but then overnight, most of us are dry with temperatures in the upper 60s and low 70s. And then we'll do the same thing again for tomorrow. We're keeping that chance for isolated storms in our forecast, maybe a better chance across the southeast corner of the state with temperatures still, again, not bad in the upper 80s and low 90s. So those spotty storms will continue for the remainder of the work week. We'll be drying out by the weekend, and then, Wendy, for next week, we are looking at temperatures to be a lot hotter with more of those upper 90s and triple digits with a mostly dry forecast. And we'll have the latest on that in just a little bit.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Jack. An Oklahoma City Police K-9 is back on his paws after a dangerous arrest left him being dragged behind a moving truck. Fox 25's Sophia Cabrera has the story.
At first glance, Dash might look like any other K-9, but to his handler, he's a partner who never lets go.
They're amazing. They're some of the coolest animals.
On June 28th, Dash and his handler, Sergeant Michael Moore, responded to reports of a stolen box truck in southwest Oklahoma City. Body cam video and drone footage shows officers trying to take the driver into custody.
The compliance is, it's there, but there's only so long you allow a kid to do one thing over and over and over until you're like, okay, he's up to something. So I got my dog out.
And after the suspect seemed passive with commands, Sergeant Moore deployed Dash to make the arrest. And for a moment, it worked. Until the driver climbed back into the truck with Dash still attached and began to drive away.
be honest with you, I thought my dog was dead right then. And that was the hardest thing to accept.
Body cam footage shows Dash being dragged as the truck reached speeds of nearly 40 miles an hour. Sergeant Moore raced to catch up, expecting the absolute worst. Instead, he found Dash still fighting.
I noticed his toenails were just shattered in half. I've noticed one of his back feet was like I could just see raw toes, and I was like, oh gosh. So he's walking, and he was able to bite again, and he's moving. There's nothing broken. There's nothing out of place.
Despite the ordeal, Dash suffered only minor injuries, including scraped paws and worn down nails. And after about a week and a half of recovery, he's already back doing what he loves.
He would do everything he could to make sure that his dad was proud.
Police says Dash's determination helped lead to the suspect's arrest, reminding his handler why these canines are more than just part of the job. Because for Dash, the job isn't over until it's done.
I'm happy with him. I mean, that dog he's a warrior.
Sophia Cabrera, Fox 25 News.
A death row inmate convicted of killing an Oklahoma City mother is one step closer to being executed. The Oklahoma Pardon and Parole Board voted 3-1 this afternoon to deny clemency for Carlos Cuesta Rodriguez. He was sentenced to death for the 2003 murder of Olympia Fisher. As they sought clemency, his legal team focused on medical and psychological evidence they believe should have carried more weight.
Following this bus accident, Carlos's family became so worried about his change in behavior that they took him to a state-run psychiatric clinic that was supervised by a family friend. There, Carlos, who was still just a child with a developing brain, received electroshock therapy, which at that time caused violent and painful seizures during the sessions. Neuropsychologist Dr. Antolin Llorente concluded that Carlos's constellation of brain impairments resulted in him not being able to regulate inappropriate emotions, behaviors, or thoughts.
The board's recommendation now goes to Governor Kevin Stitt, who has the final say on whether to grant clemency. Cuesta Rodriguez is scheduled to be executed on August 13th. New court documents revealing disturbing details about a deadly attack in Oklahoma City. Police say 59-year-old Cap Trung Nguyen was found dead outside of a business on North Classen early Friday morning. Investigators say surveillance video shows James Upshaw attacking Nguyen with a cinder block while he appeared to be asleep. Police arrested Upshaw on a complaint of first-degree murder. The investigation is ongoing. A Wagoner County man is in jail following an undercover child exploitation investigation. The sheriff's office says deputies used an online decoy account after receiving a tip from a confidential informant. Investigators say Randall Mukes exchanged sexually explicit messages, then arranged to meet with who he believed was a child. Deputies arrested him when they arrived at the meeting location. He is facing complaints of lewd or indecent proposals to a child and facilitating sexual contact with a minor. Firefighters kept a major apartment fire from spreading to occupied homes in Oklahoma City this morning. Crews arrived to find heavy fire in 2 separate apartment buildings, prompting a third alarm to bring in additional firefighters. Residents were evacuated safely, and firefighters stopped the flames before they could spread to occupied units.
The apartments that were mainly affected by the fire were vacant. We did do an evacuation of adjacent apartments that did have occupants in there. Right now, it looks like there's no fire damage or water damage to those apartments that I know of.
No residents were injured, though 2 firefighters did suffer minor injuries. The cause of that fire remains under investigation. Authorities have identified the man killed in a motorcycle crash this morning in Bryan County as 38-year-old Timothy Steele. OHP says it happened along a curve on Highway 78. The motorcycle left the road, struck a sign, a rock, and a tree, and then a culvert. Steele was pronounced dead from his injuries. We are learning more about the deadly ICE-involved shooting in Maine. Maine Senator Angus King says Homeland Security Secretary Markwayne Mullin told him an ICE agent opened fire after a man tried to flee in a vehicle, which the officer believed posed a threat. Mullin later corrected earlier information, telling King the man who was shot was not the target of the immigration warrant being served. The shooting remains under investigation by the FBI, the Maine Attorney General's office, and the Department of Homeland Security. Customs Enforcement to suspend most vehicle stops following the Maine shooting and another ICE shooting in Texas. The agency is also providing additional training on vehicle stop tactics. Reports say stops will continue for suspects accused of serious crimes. 2 U.S. Supreme Court justices are making a rare appearance on Capitol Hill today. Justices Amy Coney Barrett and Elena Kagan are telling lawmakers the court needs more funding for security, citing a rise in threats against justices.
I didn't expect that performing this service was going to put me in the position of explaining to my children what a bulletproof vest was and why I had to wear one.
For some of us, those threats have come very close, and all of us live with the knowledge that they may again materialize.
The request comes just weeks after the Supreme Court issued major rulings on President Trump's immigration, tariff, and transgender athlete policies. The justices are seeking a 10% increase in security funding for the next fiscal year, saying the money would help expand protection for the court and its members. The U.S. Marshal Service recorded more than 560 threats against Supreme Court justices last fiscal year. In recent years, Justice Amy Coney Barrett's family has been targeted by a swatting call and a bomb threat, and a man was arrested near Justice Brett Kavanaugh's home in 2022. President Trump says trade deals and investment will help keep the Strait of Hormuz open and free to navigate as both the U.S. and Iran fight for control of that vital oil waterway. National correspondent Matt Galka reports from Washington.
The president backed off from a threat to charge 20% fees on ships to safely travel through the Strait of Hormuz as the war between the U.S. and Iran has restarted. Instead, he said Gulf countries would be investing in the United States, something he called massive, but at the same time extraordinarily good for them and their future.
They would love to invest more money in the United States at record amounts, and that would be very acceptable. And this way, there's no fee.
Both countries want some form of control over the waterway that handles around 1/5 of the global oil supply. Iran's foreign minister taunted Trump over the 20% fee idea, with Abbas Araghchi writing on X, "POTUS is absolutely right. Whoever provides secure and safe passage of commercial vessels through the Strait of Hormuz should be compensated for this service. 20% is of course too much. We will be fair." The Trump administration had previously said tolls were not allowed in the waterway.
There is a memo of understanding, but Iran seems to have no interest whatsoever in maintaining any of those provisions.
Iran continued firing on tankers and claimed to hit U.S. bases in the region as the United States continued with a third consecutive night of strikes on Iranian military targets. That included using a sea drone for the first time ever to target an Iranian port. U.S. Central Command posted video of the one-way attack drones hitting a submarine and ship maintenance facility, saying it further degraded Iran's ability to hit ships in the strait. Oil prices have been on the rise for the past week as the tensions continue to flare up in the region.
The MOU had such gaping holes that it invited Iran to take over the Strait of Hormuz.
A U.S. naval blockade of Iranian ports and ships was reinstated Tuesday after being suspended when the ceasefire was signed. When the previous one was in place from April to June, more than 140 ships were redirected and 9 were disabled when they tried to break the blockade. Reporting in Washington, I'm Matt Galka.
As America marks 250 years, it's often said farmers are the backbone of our great nation. The National News Desk's Taylor Murray brings us a look at the agriculture in America and the pivotal role that farmers play in supporting our growing nation.
From the fiber in the clothes on our backs to the plants used in life-saving medicines to the food on our tables, agriculture touches nearly every part of our daily lives. From coast to coast, across America's diverse agricultural regions, you'll find the backbone of our great nation, the farmers.
We say all the time that agriculture is national security.
In the heartland lies the Corn Belt. Fertile soil and endless fields travel west into the Great Plains. Amber waves of grain sway beneath open skies in America's breadbasket. Further south to Texas, Oklahoma, and neighboring states, it's cattle country. In the upper Midwest, you'll find the Dairy Belt. In the south and southeast, long growing seasons and abundant water resources support rice, cotton, delicious fruits and vegetables. Some crops native to North America, like cranberries, are harvested nationwide from the east to the Pacific Northwest. Farms and farmers we all depend on.
America has a rich history around agriculture.
Third-generation farmer and American Farm Bureau Federation President Zippy Duvall says, as the country has grown, so has the demand placed on farmers, yet fewer people are making a living from the land.
When our country was created, about 90% of the people across the country were farming, and now it's less than 2%.
When you break down the 2%, it's families feeding families.
97% of those farms are owned by families.
Those family-run farms are incredibly resourceful.
You might have 5 or 6 family members that are farming on their own, but they come together to create one big farm to be able to utilize and be more efficient with the equipment.
Innovation in agriculture also key in helping America's small percentage of farmers grow enough food while minimizing their impact on the environment.
A great example of that is precision agriculture, where instead of spraying the whole field trying to kill a certain weed, now the technology allows us just to spray the weed.
Every meal begins with a farmer. So next time you sit down to dine, remember, if 2% of the population is farming, that means
98% of the population has the opportunity to go out and meet all their dreams and be whatever they want to be in life and be the best at it.
when you include the industries that support farmers, such as food processors, manufacturers, and transporters, the agriculture sector supports roughly 30% of American jobs. For Amazing America, I'm Taylor Murray with the National News Desk.
Algae levels are still pretty high, especially when you look at the mold category. Hopefully some of the rain showers that are out there may help to kind of knock some of those down. But with our spotty showers that we're going to be talking about most days, it'd be unlikely to really see a big improvement there with some of our algae levels. Recorded highs so far for today on the Mesonet sites have been primarily in the low 90s to middle 90s across a majority of our area. So again, for July standards, it's pretty good out there. And you'll see that our high temperatures so far for the month of July brings us now to 91 for today at Will Rogers, which would be about 2 degrees below average. So we've got 7 above normal days, 3 normal days, and 4 below normal days so far for the month of July. There have been a number of spotty showers and storms out there again on the radar. Like yesterday, they've been moving generally from east to west, and as they move farther to the west, they are then able to kind of fizzle out. But there's been kind of a bit more activity actually very close to I-40, and it's been generally where a lot of those little spotty rain showers have been. Our Twin Lakes radar, the one that is in Norman, still remains down because of a coolant problem, so we have to run off of the different radars that we have across the state. But you've still got that cell there that's by the Watonga area, kind of pulses up and down. But you'll notice though that there aren't any lightning strikes with any of those within the Crescent area, Guthrie, and also by Perkins. There's one little lightning strike there. But overall though, these are just kind of very small but intense little rain showers that are passing on through the area. Also have some additional rain showers down by Seminole and Wewoka, with additional rain showers back into more of the southeastern corner of the state. Again, the lightning strikes are turned on, very few actual thunderstorms out there. A lot of these are just small but brief but intense little rain showers that are out there. there, just kind of floating around across parts of the area. The Mesonett's not picking up on very many, but you can see with our radar estimated rainfall reports there have been a few spots that have been able to pick up about a half of an inch or so, if not even a little bit more than that. Again, we're using different radars, so this may not be exactly totally accurate for an estimate, but you get the idea. There has been some pretty good rainfall totals, just very spotty in nature. The actual Mesonette sites have not been able to be hit with these rain showers that we have, but across more of southeast Oklahoma from yesterday, they're able to pick up a bit more. So those rain showers that we have out there, and a couple of those storms will continue over the course of our evening. And once we head on into the nighttime hours, just like it was last night, we should then be pretty clear and dry for much of our area. And then we'll do the same thing again for tomorrow, kind of looking at another chance for those spotty showers and storms that'll be popping up thanks to the dew points that we have that'll remain fairly elevated. And also, again, because the stationary boundary is still fairly close to the area. So it's, again, another copy and paste forecast for our Wednesday. And also Thursday and Friday remain very similar as well. But then as we go towards the weekend, we begin to dry out more as we have more drier air kind of entering the area. And we'll also be watching out for next week, the heat dome developing across more of the Four Corners and the desert Southwest, and that will influence our forecast for next week. But for tomorrow, we'll once again be right around 90 degrees with heat index values that'll be in the low 90s. That would make for a good day to watch the second semifinal game. We'll be looking at that to be England versus Argentina tomorrow at 2 o'clock. That's in Atlanta, and you can see that we've got rain showers out there currently. We'll keep those rain showers and storms in the forecast again for tomorrow. Again, though, it's going to be a big game, and whoever wins will then be on their way to the finals. And we'll see who wins, again, the Falklands War 2.0 for tomorrow. You'll see, though, with our spotty showers and storms, we do have, those isolated showers and storms that'll be out there again tomorrow afternoon, just like it's been yesterday and today. So no real changes from our forecast. You may get some rain, you may not get some rain, and that trend will continue into the end of the work week. By the weekend, we'll dry out, and then I think by the time we get to next week, might be a few opportunities, but overall, this graphic looks to be pretty similar to what it did yesterday. Spotty in nature with our showers and storms, and temperatures are still expected to get back up into the upper 90s and 100s going into the end of the week and the weekend. Again, overall, though, our pattern hasn't really changed exactly a whole lot, so we still remain fairly muggy during this time, too. That will keep our heat index values into the potentially low 100 range, especially by the time we get towards the weekend and early next week. So again, heat index values aren't crazy on Wednesday. They're not terrible on Thursday. By Friday, they're getting up there, and over the weekend, you're noticing that there at that point, we're back in that 100 to 105 range across much of the area, with maybe even higher dew points up for next week, giving us even higher heat index values. So just remember to be careful in and around cars with an outside temperature of 102, like we think it's going to get up to next week. As you can see, it quickly gets way hot in your car, potentially up to 145 degrees after an hour inside there. We'll stay above average from the 22nd to the 28th, and we'll also look to be around average now for a chance for some rain. For tonight, we'll drop down to around 71 with clear skies. Again, most of us, again, in the upper 60s and low 70s. Those showers and storms will be more this evening. We'll do it again tomorrow with a high of 90 with, again, more of an isolated chance for showers and storms out there. And your 10-day forecast calls for additional showers to be in the forecast for Thursday and Friday. Drying out for a lot of next week, except for a couple opportunities here and there. But overall, though, it'll be a much hotter forecast.
New state data shows Oklahoma is dealing with far more cases of a parasitic illness than previously reported. The Oklahoma State Department of Health is now reporting 56 confirmed cases of Cyclospora and one probable case. This is more than 5 times the number previously reflected in CDC data. 6 Oklahomans have been hospitalized. The CDC is investigating a multi-state outbreak but has not yet identified the exact source. Health officials recommend washing fresh fruits and vegetables thoroughly and practicing good hand hygiene. A 36-year-old mother is preparing to head home after a record-breaking operation. Doctors at Northwestern Medicine gave Elizabeth Worley new lungs, a new liver, and a kidney. It marks the first time a patient has received 4 new organs when retransplanted lungs were involved. Doctors say the retransplant was necessary because her body started to reject the first set of lungs she received 9 years ago. Part of that was due to her cystic fibrosis.
I left my house February 17th for a regular doctor's appointment and never went back. I've not been back, and I'm ready to hug my kid in my own space, ready to sleep in my own bed, just ready for my life back.
Elizabeth says she's walking up to 4 miles a day and will head home to Iowa later this week. Apple and Google spent months suppressing negative news stories about former Democratic Maine Senate candidate Graham Plattner. That is according to a bombshell new study just released by the Media Research Center, a conservative watchdog group. The National News Desk's Jeff Harris has the details.
In this new study, the Media Research Center alleges Apple and Google News published no stories between November of 2025 and May of this year about the range of controversy surrounding Plattner and his Senate bid that includes his Nazi-linked tattoo and now deleted Reddit posts.
Apple News, Google News, they basically ran a protection racket for Graham Plattner's campaign for the better part of 7 months.
In a bombshell news study, the Media Research Center finding Apple and Google News allegedly spent months suppressing negative stories about former Democratic Maine Senate candidate Graham Plattner.
There was absolutely no negative stories about this man or his candidacy that you could find, that we could find, on Google News and Apple News from November through May.
MRC President David Bazell telling the National News Desk both Apple and Google failed to promote at least 112 news stories published by conservative-leaning outlets covering the scandals, indicating what it says is a, quote, troubling pattern of intentional censorship.
All of them had stories about the Nazi tattoo, about the offensive Reddit post, the racism that was coming out of this man's keyboard, as it were, and Apple News and Google News we could not find any evidence at all that Apple News and Google News picked up any one of those stories.
Now, the study finding the news blackout began during the Democratic Party primary when this poll was released indicating that only Plattner would be able to hypothetically beat incumbent Republican Senator Susan Collins. The blackout then ending months later following the release of this New York Times report when sexting allegations against Plattner came to light. Apple has not yet responded to the National News Desk's request for comment, but Google has pushed back, saying in part, quote, these claims are totally false and based on a completely flawed methodology. The study checked Google News once a day from a single account, ignoring the fact that Google News automatically updates throughout the day and shows news personalized to your interests and location. The study comes just weeks before Maine's Democratic Party will hold an emergency nominating convention July 25th to select who will replace Plattner on the November ballot. It also follows multiple Democrats who gave Plattner a pass for months despite the mounting allegations made against him before eventually pulling their endorsements earlier this month.
We should focus on acknowledging it was misogynistic, acknowledging it was wrong, moving on with redemption, and then focusing on his issues, which are stopping the war, taking on the billionaire class.
Now, as far as future studies, Bazell says the Media Research Center is currently working on a similar one surrounding the Michigan Senate race and progressive Democrat Abdul El-Sayed. Those primaries are scheduled for Tuesday, August 4th. I'm Jeff Harris reporting from Washington.
This is the Fox 25 News at 5:30.
As more communities across Oklahoma debate proposed data centers, one state senator wants answers. She's proposed an interim study to examine the impact data centers could have on Oklahoma's power grid, water supply, and local communities. Fox 25's Capitol reporter Paige Taylor live from the state capitol tonight. Paige, why does she believe this study is needed?
Wendy, State Senator Kendall Sacchieri filed a bill this past legislative session that would have put a moratorium on the construction of new data centers in Oklahoma until November of 2029. That legislation did not advance, so she tells me she feels like an interim study is the best way to put some attention on this issue this fall and then get a better piece of legislation to run for the next legislative session.
Interim studies provide lawmakers the opportunity to study issues outside of the legislative session. State Senator Kendall Sacchieri has proposed an interim study titled Data Centers and What All They Mean for Our State.
I'm open to both sides coming. We have had a few interim studies. Most of them, I would say, has been a one-sided, bringing in the industry and talking about just there being a large load consumer and talking on the energy side.
Sacchieri says she would like to bring in industrial hygienists for the study.
I would like to bring those kinds of professionals in, and then if it would be best to have them and then the other side there with them to hash it out, I'm fine with that. I just want to make sure that we're bringing in not just the industry anymore. We want to bring in those that are professionally been through chemistry and understand what is going into our water system and how these closed loop systems work, et cetera.
A state senator says the concerns she is hearing about data centers go even beyond water and energy.
Citizens' concerns are just, what's this going to do to my livelihood? So a lot of it is property value. We have not had these things around homes long enough. People are concerned for their livestock, expecting mothers, noise pollution, noise, what is this noise doing alone to my livelihood? And then, of course, it comes down to the water. Is this water still, perfectly fine to drink and intake and use once it's dumped into wastewater somewhere else down the road, wherever these data centers are putting them, lakes, waters, creeks, whatever.
Sacchieri says she may even bring in the Oklahoma Corporation Commission to ask these questions.
How much have you really monitored these data centers since they've been here? Because we've had some here for a very long time. How much wastewater is Google dumping daily? Are you monitoring what is in this wastewater?
Sacchieri could use the interim study to see what potential legislation needs to be considered during the next legislative session.
Maybe we need to look at, within a radius, if we can monitor their water usage and there is chemicals in these water when they're putting it back into the system, just the water system itself, they may have to chime in and help these local jurisdictions that currently don't have a proper waste management system, don't have the way to get these PFAS back out of the water whenever they have to treat it.
The Senate Pro Tem has approved this interim study. It now heads to the Senate Agriculture and Wildlife Committee chair for approval and then to get it scheduled. Interim studies must be completed by October 30th. Reporting live at the state capitol, Paige Taylor, Fox 25 News.
Thank you, Paige. We are now learning Mustang Public Schools plans to meet the state's new recess requirement without changing the school day. District leaders say they'll use an existing flexible period in the daily schedule to provide the required 40 minutes of recess for elementary students. The district says this means start and dismissal times will stay the same while students continue to get their full academic instruction. Let's turn now to our chief meteorologist, Jack Griffin. He's got your only local forecast at 5:30. How's it looking?
When you've got some spotty storms that are out there like we did yesterday, we'll have more of them again for the next couple days as well. So it's kind of one of those just copy and paste forecasts. Temperatures will be around 90 today as well as the next few days with these isolated showers and storms. And that trend will then continue as we go throughout the rest of the work week. As you can see right now on our Skycam in the metro and downtown, we've been dry with really picturesque clouds out there. But the west side of the city saw a little rain shower earlier on this afternoon around 1 o'clock or so. And then the east side also had some as well, but technically nothing over directly downtown. Again, on the eastern side of the city, kind of heading towards the farther edges there, as you can see by Watonga, we are looking at that cell still kind of holding on with actually now some lightning strikes with it. That one by Gun Guthrie kind of fading away. And we're also watching that one that's by Perkins and also south of Stillwater. That little cell there continues to hold on. We're also looking at additional rain showers by Pink and the east side of Norman, and also heading on into basically over the current radar site. But like we said earlier on, our Twin Lakes radar, which again is situated in Norman, is having some coolant problems, and so we can't use that today. We've actually had those issues the past couple of days. So these rain showers that are out there in the southeastern corner of the state will likely fade away, but they're rain-cooled air down there where there's some 70s and 80s. Otherwise, most of us remain in the upper 80s and low 90s right now, with dew points that are in the middle and upper 60s for the most part, giving us a bit of a heat index. But overall, though, it's not too bad out there. Again, we're watching these spotty showers and storms. They'll be just kind of floating from east to west over the course of our evening, and then fading away, giving us another dry night for tonight. So lows will be in the upper 60s and low 70s. We'll keep these storms until a little after sunset. And then for tomorrow, another isolated chance for storms again in the afternoon. Temperatures will be back into the upper 80s and low 90s. So more spotty storms for the remainder of the work week. We've got a drier forecast by the weekend, and windy, more of those 100s look to show up in the forecast for more of next week.
All right, Jack, thank you. Norman crews are making progress cleaning up after the 4th of July storms. The city says crews have removed about 4,000 cubic yards of storm debris so far. That's about 300 dump truck loads. Cleanup efforts are continuing in some of the hardest hit neighborhoods. City leaders asking folks to separate tree limbs from other debris and keep streets clear so crews can work more quickly. Homeowners on private roads have until July 20th to request city debris removal. Oklahoma's Organized Crime Task Force has raided 3 businesses in Bristow and a dispensary in Tulsa as part of an illegal marijuana investigation. Investigators say 2 people were arrested in Bristow, where a dispensary is accused of selling marijuana to customers without medical cards. In Tulsa, agents say they seized more than 1,000 fentanyl pills, along with heroin, cocaine, ecstasy, and 118 pounds of processed marijuana. The dispensary owner has been charged with fentanyl trafficking and several other felonies. With the summer heat settling in across Oklahoma, help is now available for some families struggling with those high electric bills. Oklahoma Human Services has opened up applications for its Summer Cooling Assistance Program. It provides financial help to eligible households to offset the cost of their primary cooling bill. Assistance is available while the federal funding lasts. If you've ever wanted to volunteer at the Olympics, your chance is here. Applications are now open for game time volunteer positions for the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics and Paralympics. Organizers are looking to fill about 60,000 roles. More information is available on the LA28 website.
This is Fox 25 Sports.
Well, it's the unofficial start to the college football season as conference media days are upon us. Next week, the SEC will hold their media days Monday through Thursday in Tampa, Florida. Along with head coach Brent Venables, OU will be represented by quarterback John Mateer, who accounted for 22 touchdowns last season, defensive end Taylor Wine, who accounted for 7 sacks, and offensive lineman Eddie Pierre-Louis, who gets a trip back home as he was born and raised in Tampa, Florida. Oklahoma is scheduled to appear on day 1, Monday, July 20th. USA Basketball has announced the addition of 3 new assistant coaches under Eric Spoelstra. One of those 3, a familiar face in Oklahoma City, Mark Daigneault. The career trajectory for Daigneault is pretty impressive, starting in the G League, becoming an NBA champion, and now involved in USA Hoops. Meanwhile, in the Las Vegas Summer League, the Thunder are back in action tonight. They'll face the Denver Nuggets. That is an 8 p.m. Central tip-off as OKC looks for their first Summer League win. And tonight is the Major League Baseball All-Star Game from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Former Oklahoma State standout Justin Robleski received his first All-Star honor. Will be representing the Dodgers tonight as the National League looks to make it 2 in a row following their Home Run Derby swing-off last summer. I'm Colby Daniels, and that's a look at sports.
Free meals are available this week for kids across the Oklahoma City Metro through the Regional Food Bank. Children ages 1 through 18 can pick up a box full of 10 days worth of meals and snacks while supplies last. The boxes are available on a first-come, first-served basis at participating sites, and they're available only once every 14 days. A complete list of summer feeding locations is available on the Regional Food Bank website. As you plan your summer vacation, you might be looking for some help organizing your budget. Experts say AI can do more than answer questions. Melanie Hastings with our sister station in DC explains it can also help manage your household finances by creating a family budget, setting financial goals, paying down debt, saving for a vacation, and even planning for long-term financial growth.
You probably use AI already. Anytime you do an internet search, AI pops up. You may see it as Gemini. This is Google's AI assistant, but there are many others. Microsoft's Edge has Copilot, ChatGPT has OpenAI, Anthropic has Claude. They'll have an answer to your question, but a word of caution, AI is not always right.
It's wrong all the time. It does make mistakes. It is still learning.
Where AI excels is in doing research.
Take your bank statement, give it to AI and say, hey, where's all my money going? It'll come back and tell you where it's going.
It's easy to upload those statements. Just take a screenshot. And the more you use AI, the better it gets to know you. But you may have to work to get an unbiased answer.
AI is geared to tell you what you want to hear. It is programmed to do that. So if you come with a business idea, if you come with some idea, it's more than likely geared to tell you, oh, that's brilliant. It'll give you all the reasons why.
And remember, when it comes to AI,
it's a tool, but you're the master of that tool.
That was Melanie Hastings reporting. Experts recommend start with simple tasks before you hand over all of your investment decisions over to AI. Make sure you use a reputable encrypted platform whenever you connect your bank accounts to AI tools, and always review the AI recommendations. Make sure they're correct. And of course, you want them to align with your own personal goals. United Airlines introducing a new seating option for travelers. The airline says some of its new Airbus jets will feature a 2-seat row in the Economy Plus cabin with a fixed table where the middle seat would normally be. United says the design will give passengers more personal space and elbow room. The new seats are expected to debut on international flights early next year.
We've had a few spotty rain showers and storms out there this afternoon, just kind of floating from east to west, and that will continue to be the trend for the next few hours. There's been, at times, occasionally some localized heavier downpours. There hasn't been exactly a ton of lightning strikes, but they have kind of picked up a little bit over the past about 30 minutes or so. There's that little cell that's by the Watonga area with a couple lightning strikes. The one south of Guthrie in Logan County doesn't have any lightning strikes, but the one by Perkins does. And we're also watching additional little rain showers kind of moving on into the southeast side of the metro, with additional rain showers by Seminole and Wewoka, with additional rain showers across more of the southeastern quadrant of the state, so south of I-40 and east of I-35. Again, the lightning is turned on, but very few of these cells are actually producing lightning. But you could have some gusty winds and, most importantly, very brief but very localized and heavy downpours. As you can see, this is going to be some of the radar estimated rainfall totals, and you can see that we've got many spots where it did rain, picked up easily a quarter to a half an inch of rain. Now, our Twin Lakes radar, which covers Oklahoma City proper, is down because of a coolant problem, so we are using the Vance Air Force Base radar. So this is going to be a bit more of a farther off estimate, but you still get the idea. Where there were some rain showers and storms out there, we actually had some decent rainfall. Just didn't pick up on where the mesonet sites were, except for more the southeast corner of the state, and that's actually primarily more from yesterday. But we're still watching these rain showers and storms moving from east to west, and that will be the case for the remainder of the evening. And then by tonight, after sunset, most of those showers and storms should be gone. And then we've got actually just another clear and quiet forecast again for tonight. We'll do it again tomorrow, as again, the overall pattern hasn't changed very much because the stationary boundary is still nearby and in place. So we are still calling for there to be more isolated storms in the forecast for Wednesday, as well as Thursday and Friday too. And then it's really by the time we get to the weekend, then things dry out and also heat up at that point as a heat dome off to our southwest begins to kind of move in our direction. So tomorrow, the temperatures are still not bad for July standards. Highs will be around 90 degrees, and we'll have a heat index just a little bit higher than that. That'll make for a good day to go to some of our area restaurants and and have a watch party. One of the last games, almost, we've got basically tomorrow's game and then the final for FIFA. Well, technically, isn't there a third place game, I think, but I don't know soccer very well, but I do know that England and Argentina are playing tomorrow in Atlanta, and there's a chance for some spotty showers and storms there with temperatures in the middle 80s. So for tomorrow, it's going to be looking very similar to what we had today, where we have those isolated showers and storms that will be out there during the afternoon, and by the time we get to the evening, they've pretty much faded away and then they're gone, and we'll do that forecast again on Thursday and also on Friday. Then we're drier for the weekend and for a lot of next week, outside of maybe a couple little spotty showers here and there, and temperatures will then become more of the talking point. At that point, we're looking at more of those middle to upper 90s over the weekend and then low 100s heading on into early next week. So your 10-day forecast, we've got temperatures that will go from being below average by a few degrees to being above average by a few degrees, and we'll keep that trend for a lot of next week. Again, spotty storms the next couple days, but then by the time we get to the weekend and for most of next week, we're a bit drier.
All right, here's a look at what's coming up tonight on Fox 25 at 7. It's the 2026 MLB All-Star Game, followed by the Fox 25 Late Edition.
I'm Dee Dee Gatton with the National News Desk in Washington, D.C., and this is your news update.
I didn't expect that performing this service was going to put me in the position of explaining to my children what a bulletproof vest was and why I had to wear one.
For some of us, those threats have come very close, and all of us live with the knowledge that they may again materialize.
2 Supreme Court justices testified today in a rare Capitol Hill appearance. Justices Amy Coney Barrett and Alina Kagan asked lawmakers for a 10% increase in security funding as violent threats against them increase. The money would largely go to more Secret Service agents per justice and an off-site residential security post to make emergency responses faster. The Trump administration is working to combat what it calls the threat of the resurgence of transnational far-left terrorism. Secretary of State Marco Rubio will host delegations from dozens of countries in D.C. this Thursday for a meeting about it. Officials claim the threat has been a blind spot in the global community's counterterrorism work for too long. A bipartisan bill to make daylight saving time permanent is moving towards a full House vote. The House Rules Committee voted to advance the Sunshine Protection Act yesterday. The measure would allow states to opt for daylight saving time year-round. Supporters say changing the clocks negatively affects health. Opponents argue permanent standard time would be healthier. And that's your news update.
A San Diego Zoo gorilla is recovering after what's believed to be a world-first surgery. Caretakers say 12-year-old Mizani was showing signs of head pain, and a CT scan revealed a long-standing infection in the bone behind his ear. Surgeons performed a 5-hour mastoidectomy, a procedure commonly done in humans, but believed to be the first of its kind in a gorilla. The zoo says Mizani has made a full recovery with no signs of infection and is now back with his troop. I wonder how much anesthesia it takes to put that guy out.
Yeah, I would say that might be a little bit more than what it requires for us, but yeah, glad the surgery went well.
Yeah, really neat. A new study suggests when cats groom each other, it's not always a sign of affection. Researchers found the behavior can sometimes signal social tension. Body language, including ear positions, suggested some cats were annoyed during the grooming, especially when it focused on the neck. Researchers say it can still be a sign of bonding, but in some cases, it may also serve as a subtle warning. Wondering if one of your cats has ever tried to groom you.
Thumper grooms us like pretty much every single night, and it's cute, but it gets annoying pretty fast having that that sandpaper on your face. But I've seen our cats, yeah, one of them won't like to do that, and then it ends up turning into a little like a wrestling match, and then there's just hissing and yeah.
Well, it's a fun time, a little entertainment for you guys.
Looks fun, yeah.
All right, that's gonna do. You got one more check at the forecast before we go.
Here's a forecast. Here we go. We've got the 90s with spotty showers and storms the next couple days, but after that, drier with more 100s.